Welcome back to Satisfactory. This is already episode 3, so don't hesitate to check in the video description below if you want to see the first 2 episodes, how to get started. We have already completed tier 1 and tier 2. We've automated a lot of things and we actually even started a base, right? I'll re-show it to you in a minute, but before we do so, let me give you a bit of a teaser for this episode. In the last episode, we've unlocked a couple of new resources, so I want to automate them. First one is copper sheet. I know I wrote iron, but no, that's completely wrong. That was copper sheet. Then I want to also automate silica and quartz crystal to really make progress in that part of the MAM. Then in the last episode at the end, we unlock Mark II belts. So I want to use this to do an expansion of my iron production and an expansion of my concrete production. Then I want to automate rotors and smart plating. In particular, because we need 50 of these to complete phase 1 of the elevator, which is necessary to unlock tier 3 and 4 in our hub. And that's really important if we want to get to coal. Because right now we still have biomass burners over here and that's taking a lot of wood, right? So I want to get to coal as soon as possible. But yeah, quick recap, right? We have created this mini base over here, plus a small extension on this side. This is where we discovered our quartz. So right now we have the quartz, going a bit into storage and going into those two awesome things to start creating some coupons. Then over here we have our first mini factory that have assemblers to create, reinforced iron plates, right? We have over here some iron plates. Then here we're creating rods that then are transformed into screws. And then we take both of these into those assemblers for the reinforced concrete. Or reinforced iron plate, sorry. Then talking about concrete, this is over here, we have a bit of concrete. Then here we have the basic iron, so iron plate, iron rod and screws. And then in the back we have our copper, right? We have our wires and we have our cables. And actually, it seems that this is pretty full. Look at this. This is my first full one. Wow, love it. Love it. Last but not least, in the back, as I said, this is my electricity production, or biomass. This is burning a lot of biofuel, but unfortunately we have to often, go back and put it back. So that's taking a lot of time. We have to cut trees and all of this. So I'd love, to get into coal as soon as possible. So what we're gonna do is that first I'm going to build a bit offline, a couple of those first easy productions like extension of concrete, because it's nothing new, it's just an expansion, and then we can build together the new resource like rotors and smart plating. So let's move into the future. And here we are. I've reorganized slightly the list, but it's still the same thing. Let's start with the quartz, where I've expanded quite a lot the foundation. We still have the 2 miners, right? Miner 1 and 2, but now we have a lot of constructors because I'm automating, silica and quartz crystal. Over here, this is the quartz crystal, taking 37.5 per minute to make 20.5 per minute of quartz crystal. So we have 3 of these plus a bit more to go, into storage and in the sink. This is not really optimized because this should be a smart splitter if we want to optimize it. But the result is that, we're creating definitely a lot of quartz crystal. So that is great. I'm gonna take a bit in my storage so we can use them in the map. And by the way, we're taking advantage of the Mark II belts, right? So we're taking 120. Then on the other side, we do basically a similar element of a manifold, right? As you can see, but this time we're going to do silica, where it's the opposite. You're taking 22.5 and you're making 37.5. So actually you can have 5 and even you could have a bit more than 5 to be precise. So that's why this is completely full, as you can see, right? It's completely full. But yeah, we're making a lot of silica going over here. So that's great. And some silica also in the awesome thing to make a lot of points. We're making a lot more points and therefore we already have quite a few coupons. I love it. But again, similarly, let's take some silica. I'll take a bit more. I don't know how much I need. We can come back. So obviously don't hesitate to tell me if you have any questions or thoughts in the question below, but this is basically a bit of a basic factory, quick and dirty factory to make us those 2 resources and to make us some coupons. Before we go into the MAM, let's look at the iron and concrete expansion. Over here, before we used to take 2 of these belts because they were belt Mark 1. Now instead I just have 1 Mark 2 and I'm connecting all of this, right? So this is 120. Was exactly what was needed for this factory we built in the last episode. So don't hesitate to check that one if you missed it. Then this miner is also creating 120 per minute, right? And we used to have a Mark 1, now it's a Mark 2. So instead of having only 2 of these smelters, now we have 4. Basically what I did is I added one more on the side, right? We used to have one of these to do the iron plates, and then we have a second one that's doing exactly the same thing, right? So you can see it's exactly the same, and then we're just merging to make more iron plates per minute basically. So that's great. Then similarly over here, we used to have, one of these smelter to do some rods, and some of the rods were sent into screws. Now we have one that's really dedicated to the rods, right? Here you can see 15 times 2. That's the 30 that's made over here. And all of this is made into rods to go into the container. On the other hand, we have a new one over here. So also a 30 per minute. So that's going to make 2 of these. So that's 30 of these rods. And therefore, I'm merging them into one belt and then splitting them into 3. That way we get 10 per each. And that's exactly what's needed for the screw. So then we have 3 of these. So that's 120, and that's why this is a belt Mark II to make a lot of screws. I mean, this is already almost full. So that was silica and quartz crystal and iron expansion. And last but not least, let me show you the copper expansion just next door, right? Because similarly over here, this is also a pure node making 120. So I've moved this to a Mark II. I've also upgraded the elevator, by the way. And remember, you can just press E to move between Mark I and Mark II. So that's really easy, which means that instead of having only 2 constructors that were not working really at 100%, now we have 3 of these not working at 100%, but almost, right? Because this is 45. So for all 3 to be at 100%, we would need 135 per minute. So with 120, we're not exactly there, but we're pretty close, as you can see, right? 80% type of thing. So we're making a lot of concrete with this. I love it. So before we start making the copper sheet actually together, let's go into the MAM, because we've started to make, the silica, so we can get 6 inventory slots. That is pretty good. So this one, we could do it if we would manually craft modular frames, but no, I want to automate everything. On the other hand, that one we could actually do. I just need to pick up a bit of reinforced plates. And this one, no, we haven't unlocked yet the iron rebar. Let me actually build over here just a personal storage box, so we can just put those type of things over here easily. By the way, I also found a small deposit of caterium ore on the map. It's not a deposit where you can put a miner on, it's something like this, you find them pretty much across the map, and you can press E to gather the resources. Once you broke it, then it's gone. So that was the same for the caterium, but instead of talking about it in this episode, we'll talk about it in the next episode when I'll go actually look for an actual mine. So now let's talk about copper. We have similarly a copper mine over here, that's 120. So we could upgrade this belt over here. So pressing 3 to get a conveyor belt, then E to go to Mark II, and then you can just hover over the belt that you already have, click on it to upgrade it. So here I have 120. 60 going this way, this is fine, this is already working. So then we can just go this way with another 60, right? And what we're gonna do is then the copper. So let me show you for copper how that looks like. It's over here, copper sheet. This is taking 20 per minute, right? So first we obviously need to put some smelters. We're gonna put 2, right? Because that's 30 for each. So 30 and 30, that's the 60. We're gonna put a splitter over here. Good. And we just need to connect. Done. This one connects over here. This one connects there. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to tell me in the comments below. That's pretty standard. That's what we've been doing the whole time. I'm going a bit fast so we can move to the next interesting part. Okay, so 1 and 2, they're going to start. Then we're gonna merge all of this. So pressing E to merge both of these. Actually, sorry, I'm gonna merge it over here. Make it a bit cleaner. We'll start here, 2 meters back. Good. Clean. Good. Then we're gonna want to split this. We're gonna put a splitter. we're gonna split into 3 because we are making 60. So each of the 60, if we divide by 3, that's 20. And that was exactly what we needed for those copper shit. So let's go 20 each. Oops. Paste. Good. Then we're gonna connect all of this. Put some electricity. And now we just need to merge the whole thing into a storage container. Over here. Perfect. And you may have realized that this is exactly what was planned in my to-do list. Done. So 2 smelters, 3 constructors, 1 storage containers, 2 mergers and 2 splitters, 1 over here and 1 over there. That should work at 100%, no problem, and start making us some copper shit, which will be important in the next episode for sure. So that's 1 more, and with this we can move to the next one, rotor automation and smart plating automation. Completely new factories. At this point we still don't really have a lot of visual like walls and roofs, etc. So I'm just going to extend this part probably, and maybe we make also a factory on the top over here. All right, let's see. I take one of these, you press R to go into vertical mode, and then you can go up like this. All right, and then we can go back into Zoop to make something like this. That should be fine. Oh, there is a small creature there. It's not a bad one, don't worry. You can pat him. And then he's gonna become a friend. Come back. Okay, then I'll take the leaves. We can do a quick check on our energy while we're at it. Oh, that's nice. That's a lot. So let's make sure everything is full of biofuel. I have, by the way, also upgraded over here. The barrel, this is now a Mark II, because this requires 120. And similarly, I think this one is a Mark II, and that one. So just to make sure we have, an optimized production of solid biofuel. So in terms of energy, as you can see, we're burning quite a bit of biofuel per minute, and we are very close to our capacity in terms of the actual production. So we should definitely, before we start making rotor and smart plating, add a few more. So yeah, this is why, as I said before, I really want to get into coal as soon as possible, because now this is getting a bit out of hand. How many burners do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. Right? That's a bit too many. That's a bit too many. And it's a bit of a mess too in terms of the power poles. Okay, let's put some here, there, here, and here. Okay, so we are now at 420. Great, we have some leeway, but still, this is definitely getting out of hand. Let me also put all of these back in except one, and put this in the poubelle. No worries. So let's talk about rotor automation and smart plating. I think we'll do smart plating on the top, and we can do rotor over here. Let's expand quickly. It will be a lot better when we have our blueprint and we can just have huge blueprints of these foundations. But anyway, that's a start. Let me just take a couple of these too. Okay, so let's take a look at rotors this time. And similar to when I showed you my reinforced plate factory, I want to make a perfectly efficient one. Meaning I want to use a certain number of iron and then get rotors, nothing in between, right? So what we're gonna do is actually just 2 assemblers, but then it's gonna be 5 constructors for screws and 6 constructors for iron rods. Because actually to make rotors, you need some screws and you need some iron rods. And to make the screws, you need more iron rods. So that's why, this is what's happening. Basically, it's gonna be 90 iron ore to make 90 iron ingots. And then we're gonna make 8 rotors per minute with this. It may seem like a low number, but the reality is, this is a factory just to make rotors. It's not like I'm going to make other things from that factory. It's just to have reserves of rotors. Then we'll go into a smart plating factory and we'll make everything from scratch. So let's go into it. Again, 2 assemblers, 11 constructors, and then 3 smelters. So let's put all of this, one storage containers, 3 smelters, we said 11 constructors. Oops, what's happening? That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry about this. I put the wrong click, and 2 assemblers. And that's pretty much it. I mean, we'll need obviously a couple of conveyors. I haven't really thought about it, but let's say 5 and 5 just to be ready for it. And then of course we're gonna need some conveyors. So now looking at my to-do list, you can see I have a lot of iron rods, wires, iron plates. That's not a problem. I should probably take a bit more cables. We need to craft manually 3 more rotors before we can have them automated. And we need to pick up a bit of reinforced iron plates, which I have a lot, don't worry. The game has been running, it's not a problem. So let's take also a bit of cables, as we said, and craft a couple of rotors. So cables, and we go back to our hub to craft just 3 rotors at the bottom over here. Let's go 1, 2, and 3. Good. Now we're gonna need some iron too, right? Which is basically this iron belt over here. I could run it along this side, but what we can also do is start using elevators, right? And then I can roll the belt on top of those mergers and splitters over here. All right, make it a bit cleaner. Okay, like this. This way we can still walk pretty easily over here. And again, of course, in the future, we're gonna do way better factories. But right now, we're a bit limited by what we can do. So let's make sure this one is a level 2. Let's delete this belt. And then this also needs to be a Mark 2. Connecting over here, putting all of these into Mark 2. Great. So that will start working, sending the iron ore all the way over here. All right. And then we can start the factory. And again, maybe let's leave a bit of space. So let's continue that one all the way over here. Now, as we said, we're gonna need 3 smelters. So let's put them. This is input. You don't have, to put the splitters on the ground like this where there's no belt. You can also put them directly on the belt, like this one. Good. On this one, I'm not sure it's gonna work, but we can try. Done. So this is fine. It can be a Mark 1. Oh no, sorry, I put it the wrong side. I put it the wrong side. It needs to be turned. Okay, so done, 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 and done. 3 smelters, they all need to be iron ingots. Now let's bring some electricity to this whole thing. Okay, then we're gonna need 6 iron rod constructors, right? So let's go. 1, 2, oh, I put it badly. 3, 4, 5, and 6. I may have put them all be too close, but now yellow like this, you can still do it. What it means is that there's some clipping. So basically they are a bit on top of each other, but it can still work. In particular like this, the reality is the clipping is not really visible. If you want to notch it at all, you need to put it there, but then it won't work, right? I can't put 2. If I put them like this, I'm pretty sure I can actually put them both like this. So we can do it super compact like that. So first of all, we start with the mergers, right? Where the direction needs to be over here. I'm gonna do that, this, and this, right? So basically what happens is this will merge with that one, merge with that one, merge with that one. This needs to be a Mark II belt because we're already at 60, or at least this one for sure needs to be a Mark II. And then on the other side, this will be actually splitters, right? So it will arrive from the top and then start being delivered like this. So again, this is more just to show you that you can, if you want, make it super compact, even if there is a bit of clipping happening. Done. So we're merging and then splitting. Now I do need to put that this is roads, right? So road, and road. That's 6, right? Not dreaming. Yes, 6. And then let's connect electricity. So now with all of this, we're basically making 90 iron rods, but we're gonna need to send 50 of these into making screws, and we're gonna need to keep 40 to go directly into the assemblers. Right? That's where it gets a bit more tricky. Okay, done. Now you may be wondering what's happening. Now let me try to explain and tell me in the comments if that's not clear. Maybe I can do a diagram for all of you. Each of these is providing 15, right? So let's start over here in the middle. We have 2 of these, so that's 30, right? This plus that makes 30 on this belt. So then we have a splitter, a 3-way splitter, meaning we're gonna have 10 on each, right? There's 10 here, 10 here, 10 here. So that means 10 is coming this side and is joined with 2 of these. So that's 15 and 15. So 30 plus 10. That's 40. That's exactly what we need from the roads into the assemblers. On the other side over here, we said again, this was 10 and 10. So we have 20 coming this side. So that's 20 over here plus 15, that's 35. Then you add 15 again, that's 50. 50, this is exactly what we need over here for 5 of 10, for 5 screw machine, right? 10 each. So that's perfect. Now I just need to put some of those splitters. Again, it's gonna come from over here and it's gonna just continue in a bit of a manifold line, so on. So we connect here to there, and level 1 is fine, right? Because we're only talking about 50. For the screws, that's gonna be different because we're talking about 200. So there, even a Mark II belt won't be enough. And I'll show you what we'll do. Okay, we just need to connect the electricity now. Good, so they should all, no, yeah, I forgot screws. But yeah, everything else should start. Then we're gonna need to merge. And basically what happens is, if you look, at my assembler, right, we're gonna need 100 screws for each. So this is 40 plus 40, that's 80, and then it's half of this one. We're gonna do the same thing we did last time, which is here, we're putting a splitter on this one, versus there, we're gonna put a merger, right? And I need to turn it the right way, like this. Yeah, perfect. So then this is a normal belt. This is a normal belt. 90 degree. Perfect. Perfect. Done. 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 And then we need a Mark II coming out of that one and coming out of this one. 100 screws on this one, 100 screws on that one. Perfect. So then we just need 2 assemblers, which we can put probably over here. Maybe we need just one more line. Let's go. And 7E, perfect. I haven't really thought about the alignment. So we're gonna do the same trick we did earlier, which is elevator for the screws. I don't know if that's perfectly aligned, but yeah, it seems so. Perfect, love it. So one elevator over here and then another elevator a bit further here. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, this side, perfect. So that is a Mark II that works. Mark II all the way. And same over here. Mark II, done. And then this one, that's just a normal Mark I that we're gonna continue straight. Right, when we're gonna put a splitter, align with this one. And then by the way, we can also put another one there just to make sure it's ready in the future if we want to expand it even further. And then just Mark 1, Mark 1, select rotor, copy, paste, and we just need some energy. Just letting all of the rotors arrive so that the manifold is fully ready to go. Go, go, go. Yeah, perfect. 1 and 2. And then we just need our container over here. 1 merger. Exit this side. We're only talking about 8 rotors, so Mark 1 is totally fine, obviously. Oh, no, sorry. I didn't place it the right way. 2 meters back. Done. Can we see the first rotor to arrive? Go for it. Yes. Nice. Look at these beautiful machines working all in tandem, all green. There's a yellow there. Why? Oh, because this is full. That's why. But at least for my new factory of rotors, as you can see, this is all green, perfectly efficient. 90 iron ore transform into 8 rotors. Don't hesitate if you have any questions, any thoughts, how to make this even better in the future. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. And that's one more goal automated. Again, because I want to automate everything, but also because we need rotors to build assemblers. So I need a reserve of rotors. So let's move to the smart plating factory. We're gonna want to make smart plating for the elevator. And in this case, without any overclocking and underclocking, it's actually quite hard to do a perfect factory. So we're not gonna even try. What we're gonna do instead is we know we still have 1 pure miner. That is 120 of iron ore. So we're gonna use this 120 to make as much smart plating as we can. And in this case, it's gonna be 4. Basically 4 smart plating per minute. And we're also going to have a small excess of iron plate and a small excess of reinforced iron plate. But will be perfectly equilibrium for screws, iron rod, and rotors. In total, we're talking about 4 assemblers, 2 for smart plating, 1 for reinforced iron plate, 1 for rotors, 2 constructors, in total 10 constructors, 2 for iron plate, 4 for screws, and 4 for iron rod. So I've put this on the side, 10 constructors, 4 assemblers, 4 smelters, a couple of conveyors, etc. And we have enough resources, we're all good. So this is the last miner, right? We're going to send all of the ore with the Mark II belt up this elevator on this new platform we just created. And then we're gonna start building. So let's go. Basically what we're gonna do is 2 mini factories like this one, right? 1 mini factory for reinforced iron plate, 1 mini factory for the rotors, and then we're gonna put those 2 things together for the smart plating. We could do multiple floors too. I think in this case we don't really need to, it's still quite a bit of a small factory. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, smart plating factory. We start with 4 smelters, right? We have our belt over here with 120, so that's 30 each. We have 2 over here which will be dedicated to the plates, so that's 1 to 1, and we have 2 for the rods. So again over here we have 2, and then 2 constructors for the iron plate. We're making then 40. This 40 goes into an assembler where we're using 30, and that's where we have a small surplus of plates. We're also going to take screws that will go from this belt. So let's move now to the next side where, we're making 30 ingots times 2. Each of them is split with a splitter into 2 constructors, because this is 15 for 15 rods. Right, so we're making 30 rods on this side, 30 rods on that side too. We do have a merger, but then we also have a splitter, which means that this 30 is gonna be 10, 10, and 10. Right, so that means 20 this side, right, 20 on this belt all the way over here. This is exactly what we need for the rotors, and that means 10 more there, right, 10 plus 15 plus 15, right, so that's on total 40. This is exactly what we need for 4 of these constructors for screws, right, so 10 plus 10 plus 10, that's 40. That works exactly fine. And with this, we're making 40 times 4 screws, so that's 160. What we're actually going to do is we have a splitter on this number 2 here. So this 40 is made into 20 this side, 20 that side. So if we look on the right, we have 20 plus 40, that's 60. And that is exactly what we need for the reinforced iron plate. So with this, we're making, 5 reinforced iron plate per minute. That's easy, it goes all the way over here. Then we have 20 plus 40 plus 40, that's 100. And this is exactly what we need for the rotors. And so with this, we'll make 4 rotors per minute. So we have the 4 rotors going into this elevator to be at level 3, so that at level 1, we can have, my reinforced iron plates. So we have a splitter there. 2 is going to go this side, 2 this side. And then similarly for those 4 over here, right, we're gonna have 2 that goes directly into the assembler, 2 that goes over here. Now, if you don't know how to have the splitter over here on top, actually, the only way is you do it like this. So we have 3, and then you delete the 2 at the bottom, because 3 is the basic level or the basic, size for an elevator. If you have an elevator on the ground, the basic level is 3. You can obviously make it a lot higher if you want, right? You can go as high as you want, like this, right? But at least 3 is the minimum. And so this is how we're feeding 2 of these assemblers for smart plating, right? Working at 100%. Both of these, perfect, making 2 smart plating per minute. And going into this container over here where we already have 16, 17, amazing. And therefore we should be at 50 in no time. Again, don't hesitate if you have any questions, thoughts or requests. I will make those factories a lot cleaner, a lot more organized when we get, some of the coupons, some of the awesome shop walls and things like this. But for now, I feel like this is working pretty well. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, just a few minutes later, and we're ready to send all of those smart plating into the elevator. Pick them up, and we're going to deliver them manually to the top over here. Elevator 50, deliver, project assembly platform, right? Tier 3 and 4 will be unlocked in 1 second. 3, 2, 1, let's load. Let's seal. Now we're ready to sand. Look at this. It's getting ready, steady, and send it to the sky. Phew. Nice. And it's going and it's going and it's going and it's going, and who knows how long it's gonna take. The important thing is if now I go just behind into my hub, we go into the hub terminal and we have tier 3 and 4 unlock, and in particular coal power, coal generator, water extractor. That also comes, by the way, with pumps and fluid buffer and all those kind of things. Now to unlock this will require quite a bit of reinforced iron plate and rotors, so it's a good thing we have automated this, right? Basically my goal in this playthrough is to always automate everything, right, and not craft anything manually. And no, I have not forgotten that there is one resource we haven't automated yet, the modular frames, that will be part of the next episode, on top of the coal, production of power like I said, Caterium too, getting some coupons and using them in the awesome shop. So you're in for a treat for the next episode. Smash the like button, tell me in the comments below if you have any questions, thoughts or requests, and I hope to see you next time.